The Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, has produced a slew of outstanding players throughout the years, but two stand out in recent memory: Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. Their paths, although different, have often crossed, with each making substantial contributions to women's basketball and the sport's general development. Clark and Mitchell have captivated fans with their on-court talent, and the history they have created together represents the WNBA's developing environment.
Wins all of last season. They're already at 10. Looking to tie last year's winning record.
Clark from way downtown.
Caitlin Clark, a brilliant college basketball player, was making headlines even before she joined the WNBA. Her remarkable ascent has catapulted her into talks with the game's luminaries. Kelsey Mitchell, on the other side, has quickly established herself as one of the WNBA's top scorers after being drafted in 2018. These two players symbolize the league's present and future, and their journeys tell a unique story of grit, ability, and dedication.
Listen, I believed in her from day one. You knew that she would only get better and better. She's averaging 17.8 points this season, 41%.
In this video, we will examine the connected histories of Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, including their upbringing, early careers, and how they influenced and continue to develop the WNBA. We will also examine their playing styles, achievements, and impact both on and off the court.
Clark off the switch, found Smith, who landed.
Caitlin Clark, born in West Des Moines, Iowa, has swiftly established herself as one of the country's most promising basketball players. Clark has had an unusual ability to score from wherever on the floor since he was little. Her high school career was nothing short of remarkable, as she established multiple records and received numerous awards. She was a high school All-American, and her choice to join the University of Iowa benefited both her and the program. During her college career, Clark's name became associated with explosive playmaking, long-range shooting, and a ferocious competitive spirit. Her ability to command the floor and push her team to success was shown when she led the Iowa Hawkeyes to new heights in the NCAA tournament. Clark's unwavering pursuit of perfection, along with her basketball IQ, elevated her to the ranks of women's collegiate basketball's most prominent players.
As Bonner can't hit, Fagbenle the rebound. Here comes Clark, bouncing to Fagbenle, who lays it in!
Clark was already being compared to some of the finest players in the WNBA before going pro, and her ability to have a huge effect on the league was obvious. She was seen not just as a potential WNBA player, but also as someone whose unique skill set may transform the game. Kelsey Mitchell, born in Cincinnati, Ohio, had a somewhat different road to basketball greatness. Mitchell's basketball career started in high school, where she polished her abilities before attending Ohio State University. Mitchell became one of the most prolific scorers in NCAA history while at Ohio State, establishing records for both her shooting ability and on-court leadership. Her accomplishments earned her a berth in the 2018 WNBA draft, when she was taken second overall by the Indiana Fever.
Minnesota bouncing back on top. Kelsey Mitchell also heating up in the second half.
The high arcing from Kelsey Mitchell.
Mitchell's move to the WNBA was simple, and she rapidly established herself in the league. Her scoring talent, especially from beyond the arc, gave her a nightmare for opponents, and she emerged as one of the Indiana Fever's primary offensive weapons. Mitchell's skill has improved over the years, and she is now one of the league's most consistent scorers. While Clark was still making an impact in college, Mitchell had already established herself as one of the best players in the WNBA, demonstrating that her collegiate success could be translated to the professional level.
Steve 9, 5:13 left in regulation. Mitchell tries to answer with a long-range jumper of her own.
Caitlin Clark's game is typified by her ability to score from any position on the floor. She possesses long range, allowing her to make three-pointers from many feet beyond the arc, similar to NBA stars such as Stephen Curry and Damian Lillard. But Clark is much more than simply a shooter. She is a superb playmaker, often setting up her teammates for easy baskets with precision passing and excellent court vision.
Comes Caitlin. Get it!
Clark's basketball IQ stands out among many other players. She is a game student who consistently makes the correct judgments and is seldom shaken by high-stakes scenarios. Clark has shown to be one of the most versatile players in recent memory, whether she is creating space for a shot, driving to the basket, or providing an assist. Clark is also a formidable defensive player. She uses her length and quickness to block passing lanes, and her competitive drive keeps her focused on both ends of the floor. Her total flexibility makes her a player who can influence the game in a variety of ways, which is one of the reasons she was so successful in college and is anticipated to succeed in the WNBA. Kelsey Mitchell, on the other hand, is well known for her scoring skills. Throughout her collegiate and WNBA careers, she was one of the most dangerous offensive players in the league. Mitchell's fast release and ability to build her shot make her an ongoing danger to opposition defenses. Her three-point shooting is exceptional, and she can pull up from anywhere on the floor with ease.
Mitchell has not missed a shot yet. She's 3 for 3. Shot clock down to 5. Mitchell trying to create. Step back, that's a 3. She connects. Mitchell is...
But Mitchell is more than simply a shooter. She can also attack the basket and finish through contact, making her a dynamic scorer who can disrupt defenses in various ways. Her quickness and ball handling abilities enable her to beat opponents off the dribble, and she is adept at managing traffic to reach the basket. While Mitchell's greatest strength is her ability to score, she has also improved her playmaking skills with time. Early in her career, she was more concerned with her offense, but as she grew, she learned to include her teammates more, making her a complete player. Mitchell is aggressive on defense, utilizing her agility to keep ahead of her opponents and disrupt their attacking flow. Caitlin Clark's effect on the WNBA is much anticipated as she prepares to make her debut. Her academic success has already elevated her to an elite company, and many expect her to be a game changer on the professional level. The possibility of Clark competing against experienced WNBA talents like Kelsey Mitchell adds an interesting element to the league. Fans are excited to watch how Clark's unique skill set will transfer against the world's finest defenders and how she will improve the performance of her future squad. Clark's debut in the WNBA is crucial not just for her own career, but also for the league as a whole. The exposure she received during her college years has helped to increase awareness of women's basketball, and her participation in the WNBA is anticipated to improve the league's appeal even more.
Realizes it. Clark trying to take her defender, pulls up and hits from the mid-range, 20 points.
While Clark's WNBA debut is greatly anticipated, Kelsey Mitchell's reputation in the league continues to grow. Mitchell is already 3 years into her professional career and has established herself as one of the WNBA's finest offensive players. Her steady scoring and leadership on the court have made her a vital member of the Indiana Fever, and she shows no signs of slowing down. Mitchell's impact in the WNBA extends beyond just scoring points. She has become a mentor to younger players, guiding the future generation of stars, such as Caitlin Clark, who will shortly join the league. Mitchell's expertise and leadership are critical to the development of the league's future stars, and she continues to set a standard for what it takes to achieve at the top level of female basketball.
So just trying to force the pace, pull up 3. Mitchell.
As Caitlin Clark joins the WNBA, she and Kelsey Mitchell will undoubtedly face off on the floor. These clashes are guaranteed to be exciting, as both players have great offensive abilities and a competitive intensity that motivates them to perform at their best. While Clark's approach is more focused on playmaking and adaptability, Mitchell's sheer scoring ability provides a unique challenge to any opponent. Clark and Mitchell's competition, although heated on the court, is likely to be characterized by mutual respect. Both athletes have overcome enormous challenges to reach the pinnacle of their respective sports, and they understand the commitment and hard work required to achieve at the professional level. This admiration will be visible in their confrontations as they push each other to new heights and elevate the WNBA's level of competitiveness.
WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership. But despite the attendance and
Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell's participation in the WNBA ushers in a new era for women's basketball. As the league's popularity grows, athletes like Clark and Mitchell are at the vanguard of that transformation.
Their distinct skill sets, competitive spirit, and ability to interact with fans make them ideal ambassadors for the league's future.
And you know what that is? Kudos to her, because that means not only has she been putting in the work behind the scenes, but that means
The effect of these two athletes extends beyond their on-court performances. Both Clark and Mitchell have utilized their platforms to promote women's sports and encourage the next generation of female athletes. Their effect can be seen in the increased number of young girls who pick up a basketball and hope to one day play in the WNBA. Clark and Mitchell are creating history together, which is crucial in terms of representation. As the WNBA fights for more exposure and equality in the world of sports, the success of players like Clark and Mitchell contributes to the ongoing discussion about the value of women's sports and the need for increased funding and support. Looking forward, Caitlin Clark's future in the WNBA seems very promising.
Rookie from the Indiana Fever who continues to be box office. Clark and the Fever currently lead the WNBA.
She has all of the tools necessary to become one of the league's brightest lights. There will be an adjustment period as she moves from college to professional basketball, but Clark's skill and work ethic indicate that she will adapt quickly and prosper in the WNBA. Clark's ability to motivate her colleagues and improve those around her will be critical to her long-term success. As her game improves, it's not difficult to envision her guiding her team to several playoff berths and maybe a title.
When you're at that position, the point guard position, and you're leading the charge, you have to figure things out. But all I was hearing...
Kelsey Mitchell sees the future as ongoing domination in the WNBA. Mitchell, who is now at the peak of her career, has already established herself as one of the league's top offensive players. As she continues to improve her game and take on additional leadership responsibilities, she will undoubtedly be a key figure in the WNBA for many years to come.
And offensively be more involved here.
Aaliyah Boston is one of the elite post players in this league. She needs to get touches down low in the...
Mitchell's ability to score at will, along with her developing playmaking abilities, make her a tough challenge for any opponent. As the league evolves, Mitchell will be at the forefront, paving the way for the next generation of WNBA players. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell's past together demonstrates their talent, tenacity, and passion for the game of basketball. While their paths have been different, they have each had a significant effect on women's basketball, and their presence in the WNBA is helping to define the league's future.
And that's the way to push the ball in transition. Oh, that's not gonna waste much time. Caitlin Clark has...
As Clark starts her professional career and Mitchell builds on her already great reputation, the WNBA is in capable hands. These two athletes symbolize the pinnacle of women's basketball, and their contributions will be felt for years to come. Whether as opponents or teammates, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are creating history, and their careers are far from done.
Clark has space, she's gonna let it fly, and she's gonna connect!
Caitlin Clark is unstoppable in the WNBA right now, and it appears that no matter what occurs, she rises to the occasion. Clark's recent move has dramatically altered the league landscape, leaving fans, pundits, and even her detractors stunned. The same people who formerly mocked her or questioned her talents are now faced with the inescapable truth. Caitlin Clark is unstoppable. Every move she makes and every game she plays leaves the WNBA in awe, but her most recent accomplishment elevated it to a new level. It was more than just a game-changing performance. It was a cultural event, a seismic shift that had her critics scurrying for an explanation.
Listen, I believed in her from day one. You knew that she would only get better and better. She's averaging 17.8 points this season, 41%.
Caitlin Clark has been a superstar since her undergraduate days, captivating admirers with her tremendous range, precision playmaking, and unwavering confidence. Her supremacy on the basketball court began early, but what makes her path even more astounding is her ability to turn every doubt, struggle, and criticism into fuel for her never-ending desire to be the best. Clark's outstanding performance at the University of Iowa, where she led her team to multiple triumphs, demonstrated that she was destined for greatness. However, shifting to the WNBA brought its own set of expectations and challenges.
Red hot. They've been ice cold since that first quarter. Clark way outside. You bet!
The WNBA is populated by great athletes who have competed at the highest level for years. And for Clark, entering this environment meant demonstrating that she could not only hold her own, but also dominate. She dominated. Clark's transition to the WNBA went more smoothly than most rookies. She had an immediate impact, demonstrating that she was more than just a brilliant player. She was a game changer. However, as popularity grows, critics emerge, and Clark was no exception. Despite her apparent brilliance, Caitlin Clark has endured her fair share of criticism. Clark has come under severe criticism for a variety of reasons, including her confident demeanor on the court, her abrasive playing style, and the fact that she constantly performs at a level that others find difficult to match. Some have criticized her for being overly confident or bold, while others have questioned her capacity to continue her success over time. Clark, however, has always responded to criticism by allowing her game to speak for itself. Her ability to soar above the fray has been nothing short of astounding. While some athletes may crumble under the weight of continual media scrutiny and fan expectations, Clark appears to revel in it. Every unfavorable comment or doubt seems to inspire her to prove others wrong, which she has done throughout her WNBA career.
That's putting up some buckets. It sure was. Top 4 scorers at the college level here in this one. As
Clark just did something that hushed her detractors while also sending shockwaves around the league. Clark set many records in a single game, delivering a masterpiece that left even her opponents in awe. It wasn't just the number of points she scored or how she dominated on both ends of the court. It was how she did it, with poise, confidence, and precision, that drew everyone's attention. Clark not only performed admirably in this game, but she also redefined what it meant to be a WNBA superstar. Her ability to dictate the pace of the game, make impossible shots appear easy, and involve her teammates at the right times exhibited a level of basketball intelligence that many had never seen before. Caitlin Clark was clearly playing to make a statement, not just to win.
Foul knows it's important not to pick up the second because she got 2 in the first quarter against Connecticut. Clark connects on a 3.
She made a statement. By the end of the game, Clark had broken multiple records, including the most points scored in a single game by a WNBA player. Fans were ecstatic, social media exploded, and sports analysts couldn't stop talking about her performance. While many people were celebrating Clark's historic night, there was one group that wasn't so happy: her critics.
Where all the people that Stephen A? Oh, she don't do this. She not gonna do that. Let her cook.
Let her.
Caitlin Clark's critics, or bullies, reacted quickly. However, rather than recognizing Clark's greatness, many of them doubled down on their critiques, accusing her of being overly flashy or condescending to her opponents. They said that her record-breaking performance was motivated by ego rather than skill. Some even argued that Clark's dominance was detrimental to the league, making the WNBA less competitive.
Diggins, Fake Smith, her last name, she bumped into her, sped up. Let her cook. But if I'm Caitlin Clark, I'd have told...
These comments, of course, were unfounded. Clark's achievement was about more than just individual triumph. It was about pushing the limits of what is possible in sport. However, for some, watching a young, confident athlete like Clark succeed was too much to bear. Her success, in their eyes, represented a threat to the established system, and rather than celebrating her accomplishments, they chose to undermine her. Clark, as always, remained unmoved. She did not respond to the abuse or engage with her critics. Instead, she allowed her game to speak for itself. In doing so, she once again demonstrated why she is one of the league's most entertaining and brilliant players. Caitlin Clark's climb to popularity is more than simply a personal triumph. It can transform the WNBA as a whole. For years, the league has struggled with visibility and respect, frequently being overshadowed by its male counterpart, the National Basketball Association. However, with players like Clark creating headlines and attracting new fans, the WNBA is beginning to receive the recognition it deserves.
And stop other teams from scoring.
Well, last year Indiana was 10th in pace. Christy Sides telling us Clark rattles her second three.
Clark's triumph has energized the league. Fans eagerly await her next move, and her performances frequently make national headlines. In some ways, Clark is helping to break the mold of what fans anticipate from the WNBA. She demonstrates that women's basketball can be as thrilling, competitive, and entertaining as men's basketball, and sometimes even more so. But Clark's impact extends beyond the games. She has also established herself as a role model for young athletes, particularly young females who aspire to play professional basketball. Clark is pushing the next generation of players to chase their aspirations and push the limits of what is possible in the sport by demonstrating that it is possible to excel in the WNBA while doing so stylishly. Clark's influence extends beyond the court. Off the court, her influence is just as strong. Clark has become a cultural icon, heralding a new age in women's basketball that values confidence, talent, and personality. Clark's unabashed attitude has struck a chord with both fans and sportsmen in a sport where players are frequently supposed to be meek and reserved.
League in assists her last 5 games, Shannon. 22.5 points per game on 46% shooting, 11.4 assists per game.
Her social media following has skyrocketed, with millions of people tuning in to see her most recent postings, interviews, and highlights. She's more than simply a basketball player. She's a brand, and her appeal goes far beyond the sport. Major brands are lined up to collaborate with her, recognizing that Clark symbolizes the future of women's sports, and that her influence will only expand in the coming years. Clark's most major cultural impact, however, has been her ability to change the narrative about women's basketball. For far too long, the WNBA has been ridiculed or overlooked, with many sports fans viewing it as a subpar imitation of the NBA. However, Clark's performances, together with the ascent of other brilliant players, are helping to shift that narrative. Caitlin Clark is leading the effort as more people realize the WNBA is full of great athletes capable of playing at an extremely high level.
5, and now the Indiana Fever are 7th place overall and in playoff positioning. Caitlin Clark is real. She's coming, and I still...
With each passing game, it becomes increasingly evident that Caitlin Clark is only getting started. At only 23 years old, she has already accomplished more than many players do in their whole careers, and there is no telling how much more she will achieve in the coming years. Her mix of skill, confidence, and work ethic has put her on the path to greatness, and if no big setbacks occur, she might go down as one of the greatest WNBA players of all time.
At the 3, Boston the rebound, getting her first minutes. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, what a dime from Clark!
Beyond individual achievements, Clark can revolutionize the game itself. Clark is contributing to the WNBA's growth by pushing the boundaries of what is possible on the court and motivating a new generation of players. The league is already seeing a surge in viewership and fan engagement, thanks in large part to players like Clark, who are making the game more thrilling and accessible to a larger audience. As she continues to break records and defy expectations, one thing is certain: Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is only beginning. Caitlin Clark's rise from collegiate basketball standout to WNBA superstar has been nothing short of remarkable. She's had her fair share of critics and doubters along the way, but she's always been able to rise above the fray and let her talent shine through. Her latest record-breaking achievement reflected years of hard work, devotion, and an unwillingness to let others define her success.
I'm not quite sure who is benefiting. I guess we have to say the Wings right now because they're up.
Clark turned the corner.
But then again, here comes...
While her bullies may continue to celebrate her success, there's no doubt that Caitlin Clark is here to stay. Her impact on the WNBA, both on and off the court, is evident, and the league benefits from her continued ability to set records and redefine what it means to be a superstar. Caitlin Clark has revolutionized the game, and she is only just getting started.
The WNBA has always been very competitive, with players putting their heart and soul into every game. But lately, the discussion surrounding the MVP award has reached a fever pitch. Aja Wilson, one of the WNBA's brightest talents, went off on what she sees as a tremendous injustice in the MVP race: Caitlin Clark's rejection of the prize title. What followed was nothing short of explosive, as Aja Wilson launched a rage, sending shockwaves across the WNBA and its fandom.
Kelsey Plum playing Caitlin Clark, no catch, meaning she's not trying to let her get it back.
In this video, we'll explore the events that occurred, including why Aja Wilson lost her cool and the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark's rejection. So brace up as we discuss what may be one of the most dramatic moments in WNBA history. To understand why Aja Wilson's response was so strong, we must first accept her role in the WNBA. Since being selected as the first overall choice by the Las Vegas Aces in 2018, Aja has been nothing short of exceptional. Her aggressive playing style, ability to dominate in the paint, and leadership leadership characteristics have earned her a household name. Wilson, a two-time MVP and Olympic gold medalist, has constantly been in contention for the league's top honors. Wilson's intense competition and constant desire for achievement distinguish her as a great athlete. However, they also led to her angry response to Caitlin Clark's elimination from the MVP contest. Wilson's aggravation spilled out in a spectacular fashion as he understood the pressure and grandeur of winning the MVP award.
Indiana Fever rookie sensation, Caitlin Clark. It's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for league MVP honors. She ain't beating A'ja Wilson for the MVP.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has been surging to the forefront of the WNBA discourse. Clark was drafted by the Indiana Fever and joined the league with lofty hopes, and she has not disappointed. Caitlin Clark, known for her exceptional shooting range, court awareness, and ability to score from nearly anywhere, has made a significant impact in her first season. Many fans and commentators anticipated her not only to win Rookie of the Year, but also to be a strong contender for MVP.
A little step-up action right here.
Austin gets it back to Clark, sidesteps Howard, she will launch and knock down a three.
Clark's ability to perform well under pressure distinguishes her from other athletes. Whether it's hitting three-pointers from beyond the arc or providing clutch assists, she's constantly shown she can carry her team through the most difficult games. Despite this, Caitlin Clark's outstanding accomplishments did not transfer into MVP accolades this season, which has prompted great criticism, particularly among players such as A'ja Wilson.
The WNBA, she's just the fourth player to shoot at least 70% from three-point range on at least 20 three-point attempts.
The WNBA MVP award is one of the most coveted in the league. The award is given to the player regarded most important to their team's success, which is frequently determined by a mix of individual numbers, team performance, and on-court leadership. This year, however, the battle for MVP got acrimonious, with players, fans, and pundits all disputing who should win the title.
Caitlin Clark. It's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for league MVP honors. She ain't beating A'ja Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way. Quick hitter number 3 goes to Chicago Sky rookie forward Angel Reese.
A'ja Wilson was once again in contention for MVP following another outstanding season. However, many believe that Caitlin Clark, despite being a rookie, had played at an MVP caliber level, making her a viable contender for the title.
And that's what the worst of cynics and critics do. And so you knew they were going to come for you. You had to know that. Now, to the degree that they're doing so, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. But keep your spirits up, because you're at a decisive advantage, Angel Reese. You're at a decisive advantage because they made the mistake of letting you know who they are, whoever those people are. And now you have perfect justification for keeping people at bay and not letting people too close where they could potentially hurt you. It's something most people usually learn when they get older. You learned it younger, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Fans and observers cited Clark's domination on the court, ability to lead the Indiana Fever to the playoffs, and record-breaking statistics as reasons why she should be chosen MVP. Many people, including A'ja Wilson, were outraged by Caitlin Clark's exclusion from the MVP competition. But what actually transpired that prompted Wilson's public outburst?
She's pretty incredible. I mean, you watch her and it's unguardable. There's nothing anybody can do to stop it. Like, she's just that dominant, whether it's her mid-range game.
Just 2 minutes earlier, A'ja Wilson resorted to social media to express her displeasure, and it was not nice. In a series of angry tweets, Wilson lashed out at the WNBA, calling Caitlin Clark's MVP rejection absurd and a complete joke. She expressed surprise that someone of Clark's caliber could be left out of the MVP race, particularly given her effect on the league this season.
By any means necessary, KP's going to do it on both sides of the basketball, and she's one of the most hardworking players I've ever seen play the game of basketball. She's always in the gym. Like, when they say first one in.
Wilson did not hold back. In one of her postings, she said, "I can't believe we're out here pretending Caitlin Clark didn't just change the game for the WNBA. How will you ignore that? This league is sleeping on the future, which is disgusting." Her response was quick and strong, sparking a blaze of debate among fans and teammates. The Twitter storm was just the beginning. Wilson's words grabbed the attention of media outlets and sports commentators who jumped right on the topic. Wilson was clearly furious, not just about the rejection, but also about what it meant for the WNBA. To her, the league's inability to recognize Clark's genius seemed like a step backward in terms of advancing the game and promoting fresh talent.
It's time for WNBA today because we have a big game tonight. Two of the most prolific #1 overall picks in WNBA history. They go head to head as Caitlin Clark and the Fever host A'ja Wilson and the defending champion Aces. Now, A'ja has dominated in their matchups, winning both meetings so far, but we know that Caitlin has just been a revelation in her rookie season, and Clark was asked about the challenges that come with facing A'ja Wilson.
As soon as A'ja Wilson's words reached social media, replies poured in from all over the internet. Fans of both Wilson and Clark were quick to respond, with many repeating Wilson's comments. The hashtag #CaitlinClark4MVP started trending on Twitter, with supporters urging the WNBA to rethink its MVP selection. Even players from around the league joined in. Several renowned WNBA players tweeted in favor of A'ja Wilson's outburst, stating that Caitlin Clark's absence from the MVP contest was unjust. Kelsey Mitchell, Clark's Indiana Fever teammate, tweeted, "I've been saying this. Caitlin has been on fire all season. How is she not in the MVP conversation?"
Two-time WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson joined us here on SportsCenter. A'ja, I hope you could hear some of the stats we were just throwing at the audience coming off that game. You guys started 5-5 in the season, but you've won 5 straight now. What do you attribute to this recent run of success?
I mean, just trusting the process, but also our defensive end. I think we really settled down on the defensive end, and that's where we can really play our basketball. But sometimes you got to trust the process. Adversity hit us a little early, but I'm glad it did, so we can learn how to grind out wins, because this league is way too good. So we're slowly getting back to Aces basketball in our system, and I'm feeling like we're at the right time of our season right now.
28 points, 9 rebounds for you, season high 34 for Kelsey Plum. She was reluctant to talk too much about herself a few moments ago with Angel Gray. What do you say about Kelsey Plum as it relates to doing what is necessary to win a game?
By any means necessary, KP's going to do it on both sides of the basketball, and she's one of the most hardworking players I've ever seen play the game of basketball. She's always in the gym. Like when they say first one in, last one to leave, that is...
On the other side, other fans believe Wilson's reaction was disrespectful and unwarranted. Critics claim that Wilson should concentrate on her performance and let the MVP process unfold. Nonetheless, the vast majority of fans seem to agree with Wilson, claiming that Clark's rejection was one of the most contentious in recent WNBA history.
So here is the scouting report from Caitlin Clark. I mean, look at those words. Mid-range game. She can put it on the floor. Defensive player, unguardable. We are witnessing the greatest scoring.
As the uproar over her MVP snub heated up, all eyes shifted to Caitlin Clark herself. Fans and media outlets were curious how the emerging celebrity would react to the outpouring of support from A'ja Wilson and others. However, Caitlin Clark has yet to comment on the topic. Clark's choice to remain silent might be strategic. Clark, known for her professionalism and maturity both on and off the court, may choose to let her game speak for itself rather than become involved in the continuing turmoil. Nonetheless, her silence has not prevented admirers from guessing her true feelings about the MVP snub.
The only reason that I brought up the first part about Angel Reese is this. Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star. And Angel Reese is to be completely believed that there's no hate. They both get along. They're cool with each other. They're high-end competitors, etc., etc. But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship. And you also are old enough to know that in this society, whether they want to admit it or not,
some anticipate Clark will ultimately issue a statement or discuss the subject in a post-game interview. Others believe she prefers to concentrate on her next game and is keen to prove the critics wrong with her performance on the court. Whatever her answer, one thing is certain. Caitlin Clark's MVP rejection has become the talk of the league.
With A'ja Wilson, who is having career highs across the board. And there are 3 ways that make A'ja Wilson great, and I'll show you exactly as we take it to the court, starting with her.
To properly comprehend the intensity of A'ja Wilson's response, you must first understand the importance of the MVP award in the WNBA. The MVP award is more than simply individual honors. It reflects a player's effect on their club and the league as a whole. For many players, receiving the MVP award represents the pinnacle of their hard work, devotion, and contributions to the game.
A'ja Wilson with
Wilson, mid-range, where she's 2 for 2.
For A'ja Wilson, who has won the honor twice, the MVP title means much more. Wilson understands what it takes to be an MVP and is grateful for the honor. This is likely contributing to her displeasure at Caitlin Clark's omission from the MVP contest, as she believes Clark deserves equal praise for her game-changing performance. Furthermore, the MVP award has the potential to shape a player's legacy. Winning the MVP not only secures a player's place in history, but also opens the door to sponsorships, media, opportunities, and future success in their career. For a rookie like Caitlin Clark, earning MVP in her first season would have been a huge accomplishment, perhaps propelling her career to even higher heights.
3 closeouts each possession, and if you do that, you're probably going to have a team in rotation, and you're probably going to have some mismatches.
Clark, step back 3.
Another issue contributing to the MVP dispute is the media's involvement in framing the narrative. Sports media has an important role in promoting player achievements, changing public opinion, and eventually influencing awards such as MVP. Throughout the season, the media concentrated on established players like A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart, while Caitlin Clark, despite her amazing season, received less national recognition. This media prejudice may have contributed to Clark's MVP snub. As Wilson pointed out in her outburst, the league and its media partners may be sleeping on the future, failing to identify the next generation of potential. The WNBA is at a crucial point, and Caitlin Clark represents the league's future. Ignoring her in the MVP debate sends the wrong message to fans and aspiring athletes who look up to Clark as a role model.
When you're talking about Caitlin, I think there's no denying her ability to influence your offense, right? When you think about different players, you think about, oh, they can really score the ball, they can really push the ball in transition.
A'ja Wilson's response to Caitlin Clark's MVP rejection underlines her status as a WNBA leader. During her career, Wilson has utilized her position to advocate for topics that are important to her, like social justice and improved compensation and recognition for WNBA players. Wilson's current outburst is just another example of her sticking up for what she feels to be right. Wilson's leadership goes beyond her team and performance. By openly criticizing the WNBA's MVP selection, she advocates for justice and pushes the league to develop. Her willingness to speak up, even at the risk of causing controversy, demonstrates her commitment to the future of the WNBA and her desire to see players like Caitlin Clark get the credit they deserve.
She's been hot, shooting 43% during that time from the three-point line.
Wilson all mid-range and all day.
With the debate in full swing, the major question is, how will the WNBA react? The league has yet to release a formal comment on Caitlin Clark's MVP snub or A'ja Wilson's angry response. However, considering the severity of the debate and the broad attention it has received, the WNBA may feel pressured to address the issue. The league might react in many ways. It may address the criticism and explain the MVP selection process, or it could sit mute and let the topic flow naturally. In any case, the league must tread cautiously since this issue has the potential to influence public opinion of the MVP award and the WNBA's dedication to developing new talent.
We do that in the WNBA.
As the MVP debate continues, both Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson will surely be in the limelight. Clark's MVP disappointment might inspire her future performances. She's already established herself to be a powerhouse on the court, and this recent development may encourage her to climb even higher in her career. This event demonstrates A'ja Wilson's leadership and enthusiasm for the game. While her reaction was dramatic, it also demonstrates how much she cares about the league's future and the recognition of good players. Wilson's willingness to stand up for Caitlin Clark might cement her place as one of the WNBA's most important leaders, both on and off the field.
Some people didn't expect her to be as good as she was early. I did. I thought she would be.
To summarize, A'ja Wilson's emotional response to Caitlin Clark's MVP rejection has sparked a discourse about more than just one prize. It's a conversation about the WNBA's future, how to recognize emerging talent, and how leadership shapes the league. As we wait to see how the WNBA reacts, one thing is certain: this will be recognized as a watershed event in the league's history. Caitlin Clark's influence on the WNBA is evident, and although she may have been overlooked this season, her future is very promising. A'ja Wilson's strong enthusiasm continues to drive the discourse, and her leadership on and off the court establishes her as a real legend in the sport.
Back Benley, handoff Clark, launches, and hits him.
Stay tuned for further updates on this developing topic, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe for the most up-to-date sports news.
You know, this is a dream. This is something I wrote down on a piece of paper when I was in like 2nd grade. Like, get a basketball scholarship, play in the WNBA. Like, this is always something I wanted to do.
The WNBA has long been a hotbed of competitive energy, including some of the world's most gifted athletes. Some like Caitlin Clark, whose rapid ascent has created an undertone of dissatisfaction. Also, Teresa Weatherspoon, the Chicago Sky's head coach.
You have to ask yourself that every single day that you live this life. Are you impacting the lives of other people? So I'm praying that the position that I hold tells people.
Recently made headlines at a news conference for what many are calling an unusual outburst, as well as her team's performance. The seasoned coach, renowned for her calm demeanor and great knowledge, surprised everyone when she refused to address questions regarding Clark and the Indiana Fever.
Keep moving! Keep moving! There we go!
How have you liked your attack on the offensive end, Spoon?
This event has caused significant conjecture and debate in the basketball world, prompting many to wonder, what is it about Caitlin Clark that is shaking up the WNBA so dramatically? In this video, we'll examine the controversies surrounding Teresa Weatherspoon's response and how Clark's presence in the league has changed the dynamics on the court, while also ruffling the feathers of established players and coaches.
Honestly, I think setting my teammates up, I think that just like provides so much more energy to the team. It gets everybody going, and when everybody can like touch the ball and, you know, get going in that way, I think it just, you know, everybody just flows a little bit better. The offense flows a little bit better. But that's something I take a lot of pride in. At times I think I can try to like overpass and probably could be a little more aggressive to the basket. But yeah, I think with the weapons that we have on our team.
We'll also investigate why Clark's influence on the WNBA is becoming a double-edged sword, bringing both unprecedented attention and great pressure on the league.
Yeah, I think we responded well after we had to use that timeout early in the third.
To comprehend the full scope of the present conflict, you must first understand why Caitlin Clark is generating such a stir in the WNBA.
I think turnovers are costing us a little bit. If we can take care of the ball a little bit better, we'll be in a better position, but I thought we did better on the O boards.
Clark's performance on the professional stage has been nothing short of remarkable. She is not just playing the game, she is rewriting the rules and establishing new standards.
But they go in. Not only do they go in consistently. And the way she plays the game, she's the true definition of a great player.
Clark made it evident right away that she wasn't your typical rookie. Her performances have repeatedly been jaw-dropping, and her statistics prove it. Clark, who averages 22.6 points.
I'm very grateful starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID, and then obviously my sophomore year we had good crowds. The curtains were down a lot of the games, and now
7.8 assists and 5.4 rebounds per game, and has a 34.6% three-point shooting percentage, is not only making an impact,
slowly developing and getting better and better. And yeah, I think we're just, you know, learning as time goes and each game goes, like we're just getting better and better.
You've had an absolutely whirlwind first half of your rookie campaign. I want to ask you how much you're looking forward to this break, right, coming up.
But also creating history. These statistics are astonishing for any athlete, much alone a rookie. It's a little surprising that she's immediately been the focus of talks about the WNBA's future.
Well, she's definitely taken that golden advice, recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus point rebound games.
However, Clark's effect extends beyond her statistics. Her impact on the Indiana Fever has been nothing short of transformational. Last season, the Fever finished with a 13-27 record, making them one of the league's worst teams.
This is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but you're changing it. You're helping us change it. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, we thank you so much.
However, with Clark at the helm, the Fever have made a stunning turnaround. They're no longer the league's punching bag.
I think it's easy. Like, these people are my best friends, and like, that's not for show. Like, I seriously know, like, I'm not me without all of them, and they've had my back. And
instead, they're vying for a postseason place after already exceeding last year's victory total. Clark seemed to have revitalized the whole squad, transforming them into a formidable force.
Yeah, they've both been tremendous. I thought they played great defense. They've made great decisions out of the pick and roll or pick and pop. We got to keep going to them.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
The Fever's comeback hasn't gone unnoticed. They're playing entertaining, competitive basketball, and fans are paying attention. Clark's arrival has revitalized the squad.
More than anything, I know these girls are going to be my best friends for the rest of my life, and really that's all that matters to me. I don't really care if we win another game. It's just having these people in my life for forever.
resulting in an inevitable increase in expectations. However, although the Fever's success story is one of the most thrilling events in recent WNBA history.
Yeah, that's just not a basketball play, but got to play through it. That's what basketball's about at this level. So I thought we've been really physical. We've missed some bunnies around the rim, and so hopefully those fall in the fourth, but really proud of our team.
It has also resulted in a slew of unexpected repercussions. With tremendous success comes considerable attention, not all of which is beneficial.
Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
As Clark's fame continues to grow, so does the hostility she seems to be instilling in her opponents.
Stephen A., I'm talking to you, Stephen A., if you had promoted the WNBA more, if you had talked about it more, they would have played more games. Like I had the power to go up to ESPN and say, directors and producers and cameramen and everybody else flock to the WNBA. At the time,
the WNBA has always had its fair share of rivalries and competitive edge, but what we're seeing now with Clark and the Indiana Fever is something new, more fierce.
People are pulling up to games, we got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that,
one of the most striking evidence of this growing hatred came in a recent game versus the Connecticut Sun. During the match, Alyssa Thomas committed a hard foul on Clark, which many fans and experts deemed unwarranted and unnecessarily violent. The foul was largely viewed as a direct message. Welcome to the WNBA, rookie. It was a sharp reminder that despite her outstanding accomplishments, Clark is still seen as an outsider by some of the league's veterans. However, the situation with Thomas is not uncommon. In many games, Clark has faced more physical and aggressive defense.
Give it up for these women, these incredible seniors, and thank you for all that
you've done. Opposing teams seem eager to go to any length to control her, even crossing the line into unsportsmanlike behavior. This kind of approach demonstrates Clark's impact. Teams are starting to regard her as more than simply a brilliant player, but also a real danger to their success.
Honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball.
Clark's resilience, however, is her most outstanding quality. Despite the increasing aggressiveness and efforts to knock her off her game, she stays undeterred. She continues to play her signature style of basketball, making impossible passes, scoring long-range shots, and leading her team with grace and confidence. Clark isn't simply surviving the hardships she faces, she's flourishing in them. Given the background of escalating tensions, it's no wonder that emotions are high around the league. However, Teresa Weatherspoon's reply at a recent news appearance surprised many. Weatherspoon, a renowned figure in women's basketball, is noted for her wide knowledge and level-headed approach to the game.
I'm pretty sure I'll be in a three-point competition for everybody to watch at some point. Not everybody needs to freak out. So, but also the roster that we have in the three-point competition is incredible. You look at their percentages, they're all 40% three-point shooters. They're shooting better percentage-wise than I am, so they all deserve it. I'll be there supporting, watching them. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But yeah, the biggest thing was just take some rest and make a decision for myself, which is at times can be hard to do. And
that's why her hasty exit from a news appearance, refusing to answer questions regarding Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, has perplexed many. In all of my years covering basketball, I've never seen anything like that. Coaches are often required to exhibit a sense of calm and professionalism, particularly in front of the media. However, Weatherspoon's reply was anything but calm.
I'm honestly proud of myself for doing that.
I so appreciate your honesty there. And I was talking to Diana Taurasi earlier today.
Her abrupt departure generated more questions than it answered, leading everyone to speculate on what might have provoked such a strong reaction. To comprehend the importance of this occasion, we must first analyze Teresa Weatherspoon.
Yeah, obviously nothing's official, and for this league, to me, it's sky's the limit. You're seeing how incredible it can be. You can see how hard it is to get a ticket to get into the doors, how many people want to turn it on their television, how people are traveling miles and miles to come and watch and have an opportunity to interact with the players or just watch the players play basketball live in person. So, obviously expansion is going to really help. The new media deal is going to help.
She is not just any coach, she is a Hall of Famer, a two-time WNBA champion, and a veteran of the women's basketball world. For someone of her standing to respond in this manner implies that something else is going on. One idea suggests that Weatherspoon's behavior stems from dissatisfaction. The Chicago sky, on which she has poured her heart and her, is faltering this season, but Clark's Indiana fever is on the rise.
And I think you're just going to continue to see it grow. This is really only the beginning in my eyes. It's the hardest league in all of sports with only, less than 144 spots. Obviously that's expanding, but I'm excited. The people that have been in this league deserve it, and then obviously the people that are going to continue to come into this league are.
It's conceivable that witnessing her team struggle while a rookie like Clark dominates the league is hard for her to accept. After all, Weatherspoon has spent years establishing her image and team, and suddenly a 22-year-old is stealing the show. This might be a difficult pill to take for someone who has devoted their life to the sport.
90 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. Looking for Reese. Bentley tips it away and off and running. Caitlin Clark.
The Caitlin Clark effect refers not just to her on-court performance, but also to how she is transforming the whole WNBA. Her success has brought the league unparalleled exposure, recruiting new fans, and creating media coverage that women's basketball has seldom experienced before. This increased prominence is definitely beneficial to the sport as a whole, but it is also causing a ripple effect that puts pressure on everyone involved.
It'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. I think it just gives you something to work for. It's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whomever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break? From Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess.
For years, the WNBA has struggled to establish its position in the cluttered sports scene, sometimes failing to attract the same degree of attention as men's leagues.
The craziness of everything that's been going on, and just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
What was it like to try to prepare for Team USA? You were in Cleveland when they were hosting camp, but obviously you had other things in your mind, I think.
However, with Clark's arrival, the narrative is starting to alter. Fever games are attracting record crowds, social media is humming with her highlights, and everyone wants to speak about the WNBA. Clark is more than simply a player. She is a phenomenon who is transforming the league in ways few could have predicted.
Competitors. They're out there to compete to go win. And when you're in a different uniform, you're just competing to go win. And then a lot of times it's at all costs.
However, this sudden exposure brings a lot of strain. Coaches who previously worked in relative obscurity are now under scrutiny. Every tactical choice, replacement, and post-game statement is scrutinized more than ever before. Some may embrace this transition as an opportunity to get the recognition they deserve finally. Others, however, find it very stressful. Teresa Weatherspoon's response may be seen as a microcosm of the larger problem. As a seasoned coach, she's used to working inside a certain framework, which Clark's presence has upended. The increased media attention, the pressure to perform, and the necessity to adjust to a new style of play are all contributing to a more difficult situation for established league figures.
We did as a team, we spoke about it, we did what we had to do as a team to speak about how we conduct ourselves, and we moved on from there. The world kept speaking, you let the world keep speaking, but
there's also the issue of playing style. Caitlin Clark plays a daring style of basketball with dangerous passes and long-range shots. This style contradicts professional football's old norms, and for more conservative coaches, it may seem to be an affront to the right way to play. Clark's performance demonstrates that there are other ways to win in the WNBA, but it also forces coaches and players to reevaluate their approaches to the game. Then there's the money side. Clark's success brings more money and attention to the league, increasing the pressure on everyone to excel. Coaches who are unable to adjust to this new age may find themselves swiftly out of job, while slow-moving players risk falling behind. The stakes have never been greater, and for some, this is a tough fact to accept.
The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer.
As we look forward to the WNBA playoffs, it's evident that Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever will play key roles in the drama that awaits. The league's fans are ecstatic right now. The Fever's turnaround, paired with Clark's brilliance, has created the potential for one of the most exciting playoff runs in recent memory. Clark's presence, however, presents a big challenge to the league's other clubs. How do you prepare to play against a player who seems to have a response for everything? How can you stop a club that has been building momentum all season? These are the questions that coaches and players are considering as they prepare for the playoffs. Teresa Weatherspoon and the Chicago Sky face an especially hard path ahead. The Sky have yet to find consistency this season, and if they want to make a long postseason run, they must find a way to stop Clark. Weatherspoon's outburst at the press conference may be seen as evidence that she is feeling the strain more intensely than ever before. But if we've learned anything about Weatherspoon, it's that she's a fierce competitor. She may have been frustrated, but you can guarantee she'll be doing all she can to prepare her squad for the next task.
Her style being here is really hurting Chicago tonight. Kennedy a guard, but so effective in the paint. And Boston now has gone back to...
Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever are entering the playoffs with confidence they haven't felt in years. Clark has given them the conviction that they can defeat anybody, which is a dangerous mindset for their opponents. The Fever's success is due to more than just one player, but there is little doubt that Clark is the driving force behind their extraordinary turnaround. As the playoffs come, all eyes will be on Caitlin Clark. Can she keep performing at this great level when the stakes are highest? Can she guide the Fever to a long playoff run and possibly a championship? These are the issues that will define the playoffs, and the answers will most likely have long-term implications for the WNBA. But regardless of what happens, one thing is certain: Caitlin Clark has already altered the league in ways that will be felt for years. She's more than simply a newcomer. She's a game changer, a pioneer, and a force of nature. As the WNBA evolves, athletes like Clark will help mold its future.
But Caitlin Clark is a special player. She reminds me of a Steph Curry. You know, a lot of times she takes those ill-advised shots that me and Chuck don't like.
The WNBA is undergoing a seismic transformation, with Caitlin Clark at the center. Her entrance not only raised the standard of play, but also drew increased attention and scrutiny to the league. Some people, such as Teresa Weatherspoon, are having difficulty adjusting to their new world. Clark's effect, on the other hand, is a step forward for the WNBA as a whole, a look into a future in which women's basketball is given the credit it deserves. As supporters, we are fortunate to be here at this historic time. The 2024 WNBA season is shaping up to be one for the ages, with the playoffs promising even more drama, excitement, and memorable moments. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual spectator, now is the moment to tune in, because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are doing something unique.
Final few seconds. Caitlin Clark, a career-high night. The Fever put up 100 and take the series.
So as we prepare for the playoffs, let's continue the discourse. What do you think of Teresa Weatherspoon's reaction? How do you see the Caitlin Clark effect playing out in the postseason? Most importantly, who do you believe will come out on top? Please leave your opinions in the comments section below, and remember to subscribe to our channel for more WNBA news, analysis, and updates. The future of women's basketball looks brighter than ever, and Caitlin Clark is leading the way. The only issue is, who is ready to take on the challenge? Did you know that Caitlin Clark has seized the limelight in women's basketball, putting luminaries like Swoopes in the background? Yes, you heard it correctly. Caitlin Clark has become the buzz of the town, a household name, and the WNBA's brightest light. However, with that focus comes a barrage of criticism, and shockingly, some of the sharpest criticism has come from inside the same league she is revitalizing.
Here's Clark. Clark looking to take it around Lloyd. Clark bodies in and finishes.
Clark's contribution to the game is unquestionable. She's more than simply an excellent player. She's a game changer. She has been rewriting the record book since she first walked onto the court.
I think it's easy. Like, these people are my best friends, and like, that's not for show. Like, I seriously know, like, I'm not me without all of them, and they've had my back, and they do a lot of dirty work for me to be able to have the fun and take crazy shots.
And this is not an exaggeration. Every time she plays, she has a high possibility of setting a new standard, breaking a record, and taking the game to new heights.
Thank you everyone for being here. Like I said, I expect these crowds forevermore, because this is just the beginning for women's basketball here in the state of Iowa. Give it up for these women, these incredible seniors, and thank you for all that you've done.
However, her spectacular ascent has resulted in an equally intense surge of jealousy, and not only from her opponents. Surprisingly, some of this criticism has come from WNBA luminaries who, rather than recognizing Clark's accomplishments, seem to belittle them.
The people that have made it the most special, obviously my teammates, my coaches, but it isn't what it is without all of you, so seriously I mean that, and I thank you.
One of the most outspoken detractors has been Cheryl Swoopes, a name associated with brilliance in women's basketball.
Yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is, I don't even know what the number is, but that's the way it'll be, and I don't think it should be.
Swoopes is a legend in her own right, winning collegiate championships, Olympic gold medals, and WNBA crowns. Her legacy in the sport is safe, but her recent statements regarding Clark have generated more than a few questions.
So I waited until halftime of the All-Star game, and so I went over and, talked to him for a minute and introduced.
Swoopes seems to have taken issue with Clark's attention and praises, and she hasn't been hesitant in expressing her opinions.
This isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time.
Swoopes made a bold comment, claiming that Angel Reese's game would be more suited to the WNBA than Clark.